Why is coffee so delicious? I don't know. Hi everybody, welcome to the show. Today is episode 157. I haven't decided on a topic for today. This day I didn't expect to, it's 5:30 at night. This day has been awful, so, it just sucks. So, we were waiting for some people to come because we had our floors installed right before we moved in November, and we're having some trouble with the brand new floor that isn't a year old yet. So my husband's been emailing the company back and forth trying to get someone out here to come fix what was really expensive floor. And they're supposed to come today, and they just left a little bit ago, and so I've been up since like 9, and then I got bored because like I couldn't set up to film because they needed in this room. So I was like, okay, so I was listening to music and started like, I'm bored. So I was like, let's do my makeup. And then they still weren't here. Now it's like, let's do my hair. And then they still weren't here. And then finally they called it like 3, and they were like, be here in an hour or something. And they were here after 4 o'clock. And I was like, are you kidding me? And like, the floors were so expensive, we shouldn't have needed anything else for years. It should have been taken care of, not needed anything for years. And they were put in horribly. Like, I wasn't here for it. So we moved in, like, they were done Tuesday, and I think we moved in on Saturday. So I'm pretty sure I saw them Saturday when we moved in. And I was like, I was so upset with what I saw. Like, there were just certain things were just not done correctly. And the thing that still irritates me is how expensive this was. All of the closet doors are hanging. And so that bottom part that, where for the door to go on, do you know what I mean? Like a track for the door to go on. There's nothing on the bottom because there was carpet in the bedroom. So I don't know why you wouldn't have that piece to go fix the doors. Because they're just swinging. They're not on a track. And it irritates me so much because it's all of the closets. The closet, the closet in the room, in the living room, just sways. It just sways, and it drives me crazy. And I'm like, for what we paid, they should have had those. That work should have been included. With what we if not, they should have told us, if you want these installed, you'll have to purchase them elsewhere and have it. Like, I know it's one of those finishing touches that just should have been done. I'm so mad about it. And then there's a part where I'm not even going to go into it because I'm so mad. It's not even my money and I'm mad about it. Anyway, don't expect that I'm going to look like this. Is not recurring. I was bored and I had a lot of time. I should have just been knitting, and I don't know why. I know why I wasn't, because I was listening to music, and that's why I got excited and started feeling like my old self again, and then was like, what have we done? just you're not going to see this again. Don't be like, oh no, this is not going to happen again. Anyway, welcome to my knitting channel. I have whips for you. I have a finished object. I have one whip, not plural, one whip, one finished object, and some squishy mail that was not all mailed, so some of it was just acquired, bought. Anyway, I'm going to show you my colors for the MCAL, maybe, so I changed my mind. So let's start with my finished object. If you remember, my whip from last time was, oh, as an aside, Leslie Friend has not posted an update as of right now on the Bordeaux Darcy cardigan that I'm desperately waiting for updates about. My finished object is Brody's sweater that I did twice because I didn't like it, and it's so dark you can't see nothing. I decided to make the first, I'm not even sure. I'm putting these on hold because my biggest problem is that the male dogs are so hard to fit because I have to be so precise in the fitting of the underbelly of the rib cage so they don't wee on their sweaters when they go outside to go pee. So why did I say wee and pee? I was trying to be not graphic's not the right word. Crass, whatever. My problem is it's so hot I can get them to try on, but I'm not getting them wearing the sweaters, so I can't be sure how they actually fit because they're not being worn, they're not being, slept in, walked around. They're just, I'm putting dog sweaters on hold until after the MCAL, when by then it should be cold enough. We'll be in November. It should be cold enough for them to be wearing these, and then I can figure out what I need to do. Because I changed the rib cage part. I made it bigger. But then it seemed to get a little bit more on the neck, it's bunchy on the neck, it wasn't covering the neck. Now it's too bunchy on the neck, and then I had to shorten this up after the legs to the belly. I had to shorten that by eight rounds. I had to go take out. And I don't know. I'm going to have Brody wear this one and Pops wear the other one, and then decide what I'm going to do. And that's in addition to wanting to redo the sleeve holes that were going to have to be put on, not bound off. They were going to have to be left live and set aside while we... Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. I'm so mad I don't want to talk about it either. So, I haven't looked at this since last night when I was working, and I obviously did not get very far. So I started the mitts, round of applause. What a surprise. I started the mitts and it's the mohair, with the strand of mohair that I was like, I don't want to do this because I don't want to rip it out. I couldn't get gauge with the DK sock yarn. I couldn't get gauge. It was very, very loose. And I was like, well, I'm not going down needle size because that's what this is, and I don't want to mess with it because, you know what I mean? So I figure if I want to do that, I'll just take the burgundy and add a strand of mohair to that when I want to do it. But right now I'm doing this. So I was trying to get over my... I had some sort of block for making the fingerless mitts, so what I decided to do was I am starting this one at the thumb gusset, so I'm not doing any of the wrist, anything. I'm starting right at the base of the wrist, the hand, which is where you start the thumb gusset, because the thumb starts coming right out here at the hand, okay? So I think I did like 2 rounds and then the setup and then the increases. I'm doing a tutorial on YouTube from Suzanne Bryan. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a bird walking across the roof, and it's like tippy tappy, tippy tappy. It's so cute. Oh, it was a mourning dove. Did I tell you we have a mourning dove throuple? Did you know they do throuples sometimes? It's not a true throuple, but if you see 3 of them, there's an extra male waiting for the mated male to mess up so he can step in. I did not know this. You can Google it. It's hilarious. So this poor guy just like follows them around. It's really sad. We have 5 mourning doves that come around here. Anyway, I like to call them my throuple. What was I talking about? Oh, so I'm doing the tutorial on YouTube, but it's also a Ravelry free download. The only problem is she doesn't give you any stitch counts. She shows you how to work it all out on a gauge, but I have some problems with the pattern, because especially the thumb. The math for the thumb is not explained well at all to me. So I was not quite sure what to do, because I worked out the length of my palm, so the full length of my palm, and then the length for the height, sorry, not length, height of my palm, and the height of my thumb for where it should join around, so that I know how many rows to do after this, right, and then when to do here. And I was trying to figure out how many I actually needed here, because she does do the 10% negative ease that you do for socks, which is what I figured was what I was going to do for the hands. And that's mostly because they're worn pretty much the same way. Your gloves are worn the same as socks, right? You want them to stay on. So without having any, she doesn't tell you what her gauge was. And then, so she does her thumb up to 17, and I have trouble. I don't think my hand, I have like child size hands, so, but I think the around, and I'm still too long. This is a story of my life in buying clothes. My arms are too long, my legs are too long, my torso everything is too long for how big around I am. It's never, I'm just perpetually too thin and long and thin, whatever. So my thumbs are still pretty tiny, so by the time, if I did her thing, which was every other increase, then 2 rows even, if I did that, by the time I got up here, it was way too big. I could fit like 2 thumbs in here. So instead, I ended up, I think 4. So a total of 5. Because then I went to 13. I'm going to 13, I think. And I'm going to try 13. Because I figured out how many rounds I need to get to that thumb part. So I was that far, and then the thumb was so big that I had to rip it all out and figure it out again. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to work the whole thing from here and then bind off. And then I'm going to weigh the rest of this, and then I'm going to figure out what half is, and I'm going to cut it. I actually might work from each end instead because I don't like to cut things in half. I don't know if I'm going to do them at the same time or not. I might do them two at a time on two circulars because that's how I like to do it. I might do. I haven't decided if that's how I'm going to do it or not. Because it might be easier just to do like the ribbing, and it's if I keep mark of everything, I might do one and then switch to like how I do sleeves is I do like 10 rows on one sleeve and then I do 10 rows on the other sleeve. So I'm always 10 rows within. I might do something like that. I haven't figured it out. But then, since this will be half done, I should get to this point and be able to start from backwards. Be able to start from this, or I might unravel it all. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm trying to figure out. But I figured if I just did the hand part, I would know because the wrist part's going to be however much yarn I have left over. And then after that, I could just do more arm warmers since I've cracked the code. That's on 4s though, so I'd like to do fingering weight on 275s probably. But if you remember, our 275 swatches were all over the place, but all of my 4mm swatches are always the same, 20 by 32. That's how it is all the time. But the 275, I had a bunch of different gauges, so I really don't want to have to make a gauge swatch every time I do a fingering weight mitt, because I think I'm going to be doing a lot of them because I have a lot. All of those rainbow self-stripe, I bought a bunch of rainbow self-striping, so those are all going to be mitts for the stripes. So I don't know how I'm going to, because the difference in that hat, the hats I made, the difference in those hats is ridiculous. So I don't know. Does this happen to you guys with socks too? If you change the sock base, even if it's still a sock base, you still like if it's 460 yards or if it's 437 yards or if it's 400 yards, like all of that is different for your sock gauge. That would drive me freaking insane. That would drive me insane. And then you take in the difference of fiber and you're going to get like, that's what I'm saying, like sock yarns, it's merino nylon, right? Most of the time you think that would, behave the same all the time, and it doesn't. I need some like for real hairspray. Why does hairspray never work? Anyway, I'm so uncomfortable being made up like this. Like I don't know what to do with myself. The mascara feels weird. Anyway, would you like to see what I bought? So I went to my former LYS because I was trying to look up Sweet Georgia Yarns on her website to see like if I could tell anything with the colors, and I couldn't. I really couldn't. And so I was like, I kept looking at that shawl, the Geo Gradient that I did, and all the colors, and I was like, these colors are gorgeous. I don't have the faith in myself to make these so dimensional because the colors weren't just pink. You know what I mean? There was a depth of color in there that I know as a dyer that takes some doing. That takes more. I should take like a color theory class or something so I could learn about all that. Because I was watching a reel on Instagram, just doom scrolling, right? Because the country's going to shit. So I saw this woman who does watercolors of your pets. I think it's a business for her. I've seen her a couple times. And she was talking about doing black dogs and how you don't just use black. And so she was showing all the color she used, and it was like purple and like a mauve, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, holy crap, I should learn that so I can dye like that, because I was looking at her thing of the watercolor of the dog, and I was like, this would look gorgeous as like a variegated, just throw everything in there and see what happens. I would love to do that. That seems like it'd be super fun. But that takes like knowledge that I don't have, and then experimentation, and I don't like to experiment without having a plan. You know me, I plan everything. I have to have a plan, because I got to work out percentages and I got to work out all the math before we do it. So I knew that I couldn't get the depth of color that she does, because she's a whole, business of, I don't know who does the dyeing, if she still does it or if it's a team of people. I don't know how big her business is now. But anyway, since I was not confident in my own ability to do color like that, I decided to go to my former LYS and see what they had there. So this is what I picked up. I started with ultraviolet, which is the really, really dark purple that was in my Geo Gradient. Love this color. It's just perfect. It's a deep, like, royal purple. It's a cool tone. It's just frickin' gorgeous. I love it so much. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it so much. It's such a gorgeous purple. So I got that, and then I got Cauldron, which is black. And it has some, a little bit of charcoal in it. All of her colors are not just flat black. Now, this, I think from far away, yeah. But up close, there is the smallest of contrast. Now remember, I'm going for low contrast. Next, I picked Marine, which is a blue. I don't want to say navy blue, not royal blue, somewhere in between navy and royal. And again, it has these little bits, maybe tonal is the word, but it is not a flat color. So if we pair it with the ultraviolet, I think that's plenty of contrast. And then if you also pair it with the black, again, plenty of contrast. The only one I'm really worried about is ultraviolet and black together. And that contrast. Now this one is Odyssey. It's probably the most... It's all these shades of green. This is not black. It is a very, very dark green. I wonder what that's going to look like against the black, though, because it's really dark. So if we put the Odyssey with the purple, plenty. If we put it with the blue, oh gosh, isn't that nice? And then the black. Green and black forever, right? Forever green and black. So all together, this is what I think I'm doing for the MCal. This is very hard to hold all together and try to get them all in the front. When I can't see what's happening. Get them all. What if I do this? Hold on, I gotta peek in here. Okay, yeah, you can see that, yeah. What do you think of that? Yes, yes. So while I was there, I did not want to go with black. The cauldron, I did not want to go with. I wanted a purple. I mean, a pink. And the darkest pink was way too bright. And kind of flat colored. So I went on the internet, stupid me, and I found this color Luna that the picture looked like it was pink, but it's purple. It's a very nice purple. In fact, I think it's going to be a great either hat or arm warmers, maybe a shawl, I don't know. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. There's a little too much variegation for, I think, this, because this is like some blue. This looks like the lupine from my GeoGradient, and I didn't want that much variegation. And I mean, this could replace ultraviolet. It can't go in because this and ultraviolet are way too similar. There's no way that's gonna, if I mix those together, I don't think there's any way that's gonna, because it looks like the ultraviolet's in this. It's just too similar. So it's fine. I'll still use it. That dark moody, I'll use it for something. I just haven't decided if I want it hat, neck, hands. Because a lot of colors that I won't wear up against my face, I'll wear my, like green. I don't like to wear green around my face because I think well, this one's a cool tone green, so this would probably be okay because it'll match my eyes. I have green eyes. Can you see? So, green's one of my most favorite colors. Green and black, I love. So, like this with the green and the black, that like really, really dark black, dark green, almost black color just does me in. I love it so much. I should have gotten more than one of these. But now I know those colors exist. That would probably be really pretty with, oh, that's really pretty. Anyway, usually green will get worn somewhere that is not around my face. Like a cardigan would be fine because that's not up by my face. But hats and shawls, I'm not putting green that close to my face because that makes me look ill. What did that have to do with anything? Oh, because I have a lot of green that will be hand warmers. So I don't know if the purple will be a hand warmer because that can go around my face. So that could be a beanie or a shawl. But I'm famous for never wearing shawl. I don't wear shawls. I love knitting shawls. It's my favorite thing to knit is shawls because it's so easy to make the shape you want to make. But I don't know why. I think it's annoying, maybe. I think maybe it's annoying to keep it around. And plus I don't like feeling like I'm being choked. I don't like that. So, I know. I don't like that, so I figure eventually as I age and my neck starts, doing what necks do as they age, I'll probably wear a lot of shawls then, maybe. But until then, no. But I'm still going to make a million of them. I don't know why. It's my favorite thing. I don't know. I don't know why I like knitting them so much. So anyway, that's what I think I'm doing here. I think so. We still have like 2 weeks until the MCAL. So I don't know what to do. I figure I will do... It's not lipstick, it's a light. I figure I'm going to do the fingerless mitts. That's on a 4. So then once I have worked out the gauge for that, I've worked out the gauge I want for those. That's on a 4mm. Then I can work out the math for the 275. I haven't decided if I want to go looser than that. I mean tighter than that, because I don't know if I could knit at like sock gauge, you guys, because I feel like socks take forever because he uses really, really tiny needles, and I'm a loose knitter, so I'm usually knitting a size smaller than the patterns call for, usually always. But like a 2mm or a 1 point, how much are your 225 and 2.0? Is that what you do for socks? Like a 2mm or 2.25mm? I just don't think I could do it. I don't, I tried to make a thing. It was a thing. It was one of these. I don't know what to call this. A beverage. Not a thermos. Whatever these are called. A travel mug. A travel mug. I have a travel... Actually, I don't even know where the travel mug itself is. But it had a clear outside. And then in the inside, you knit this like sock tube. It didn't even have a bottom. It was just a tube, okay? And it was like blue sky with rainbows or something. I don't remember. It was kit. And I have that. And I started it, and I was like, this is taking forever. And I know exactly where it is. Well, I know where the yarn... I don't know where the travel mug is. But, it's literally like, I don't know, it was 6 inches. And I was like, I can't do this. So, like, my arms are long, y'all. And I want to use the whole thing. I want to use the whole, so half and half, right? For my whole hand. I don't like leftovers. I don't like cutting yarn. Okay? So I want to use it up as close to the beginning and end as possible. That's how I do. That's how I like to do it. So like the 275 for my hats is, I think, the smallest I can. I don't think I can go small. I don't think I can go smaller than that. I don't think I can. I don't think I can go smaller than that. I really... Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Oh my god. Why is that here? Give you a view of the grossest cat scratcher. Because they use it so much. Now I'm self-conscious about it. But you've been staring at it this whole time. You probably didn't even notice till I pointed out. That's more roses. This, west, so here's the sun coming through. It's getting kind of dark out there. Anyway. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do before the MCAL, right? because I got 2 weeks. It's not going to take me 2 weeks to do those fingerless mitts. It's going to take me probably 2 days to do those mitts. So I've been thinking, like, what else am I going to do? And I guess I could do more mitts because I have a ton. I just got a bunch of Halloween yarn. And I still got a bunch of rainbow yarn that I want to make mitts out of, right? So, anyway. This is, what is this called? Palette. It's called Palette. It is a cardigan by Lisa K. Ross, who is also Paper Daisy Creations, which I've never heard of. Never heard of her. This is worsted weight, so 20 by 28 rows is the gauge, and mine is 2032. So I can work in for the, the difference in row gauge. I usually, if it says knit 2 inches, I usually knit 2 inches in what the finished row gauge will be. So if it said knit 2, I'd knit half of 32, which is, don't ask me, I don't know, 16. I know. So this says 0 to 2 inches positive ease is recommended, and unfortunately I'm not going to do the 35. I'm going to do the 39, which would give me 4. But since this is a cardigan, it's going to get worn over a top. So I think that will be better, especially for the arms. I don't know if... It's hard to say because I want to be able to wear... It's not going to matter because I'm going to make more than one. And this one's going to be made to wear over shirts. And then I'll make another one that's made to not go over shirts. So I have both sizes. What's the difference? Plus, she also gives... there's waist shaping. So she gives waist measurements and hips measurements. Raglan depth measurements. Length. Hem to underarm, sleeve length, cuff to underarm, upper arm circumference. There's so many. I love this. I love how thorough this is of telling me all of the sizes, because I was looking at something yesterday. It was a test knit for a test knit of Bolero, and it said sizes, and it said XS, S, M, L, and XL. And I was like, you're not going to give us any measurements there at all? Like, whose sizing is this? Like, I need some extra information. So to have this much, pattern $7, which is pretty middle of the road, I think. Let me give you this picture of what it is. Now this is the adult version of a kid's one. And I'm obviously not doing the color blocking, but I wanted like a slim fit, just basic vanilla cardigan. It's got raglan sleeves and the button band afterwards. Now, my trick to a button band, I'll tell you. First of all, you should know from my playlist of recommended viewing, I use a modified backward, I think it's a modified backward loop. I'm not quite sure because there's no name for what she does. And I've only done a backward loop with my thumb, and this is done with the pointer finger. So I'm not sure if it's the same. I have not tried. My brain can't do that. So that modified backward loop cast on, I use for everything. I don't care if you tell me to use another one. I'm not using another one. I'm using this one. So if I use the modified backwards loop, and I'll tell you what, it's a great looking cast on no matter what you're doing. It just looks like nothing. It's so great. So It's very easy to pick up stitches from because it's just one strand. It's one strand. It's so frickin' easy. And it's not too tight. So that's why I like it, because it's elastic. Here, I did it for this one. There's one loop there. I mean, it's curling because it's stockinette. It's gonna curl. But let me see if I can see this? Very easy. So if you're picking up, you can clearly see them. You can see them going right down the line. Right down the line. It was you, woman. So if you're cast on, you're working top down. That's going to be your cast on around the neck. So I just slip in stitch markers first and last. And then I have my entire back right there. So when you're working down the side of your cardigan, picking up the button band, I slip the first stitch always. Slip the first stitch with yarn in front, purlwise. Then you put your yarn to the back, knit, 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 knit all the way down, knit to the ends, turn, slip with yarn in front, put your yarn to back, knit, 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 knit. Okay. So if you slip the first, okay, so if you're doing stockinette, you're going to purl. So slip, purl, purl, turn around, slip, knit, 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 knit. Just slip the first, that's all you gotta do, slip the first stitch, purlwise. That way, when you cut around, you will see like stitches there for you to just go into. And then you don't have to hunt and look for it. I like to do that better than hunting through and then, is it going to look good? Mine always looks terrible. And since I've been slipping the first stitch to get that edge, I don't have to count. I don't have to look for anything. I just do it. Just do each one. You don't, it's not like every third. No, because you're not counting the rows. Every single one, just do it. Trust me, it works. It's great. That's how I do it. And I don't know if it's my gauge or my tension. It works great for me. For my bind offs, I always do the Jenny Surprisingly Stretchy, the one that's yarn overs. You do the thing and then you yarn over before you bind off the next one. I like that one. That's how I do everything. I don't care what you tell me to do. I'm not doing it. I bind off in pattern, but that's what I'm doing. I can't decide if I should. I'm not sure I should start a cardigan right before the MCAL. That's going to take me a month, because I know, number one, I'm not going to have any time to work on anything else. I already know this. All of my time is doing that MCAL. I don't have any extra time for anything. I barely get finished before the next clue comes out. So, no, I want everything done. So, also, I don't think I want to put a cardigan down for a month and then come back. I'm not going to know where I am. Also, I haven't dyed that yarn yet for it. That yarn needs dyed black, because it's blue right now. So I guess then I'll just do fingerless mitts, because if I got to put that down, oh well, that's not going to matter, because I'm going to keep track of my rows anyway, so that doesn't matter. That can be, I'm going to keep track of a cardigan too, but I can't guarantee I'm going to be somewhere easy when the MCAL starts, and I don't want to not know where I am. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll do that cardigan right after the MCAL. So then if I have any extra time during the MCAL, I can take a day to dye that black, which I got to do that anyway. So I don't know. I've also been thinking, like, do I want to dye a pink to match this? And I'm like not confident enough, I don't think. Plus, what I think I cut out of my old video, or my last video was in order to get a darker shade, you don't always want to add black or brown because it can change the color. I'm pretty sure I kept in the brown color. How the brown kind of changed the color. Where did I keep the brown, or did I just show you the gray? There's a very obvious color difference in whether you darken primaries with, or secondary colors with, brown or gray. There's a difference in color. So to darken colors, you can also use the same color you're using, like use blue, just use the darkest blue you have to darken the blue. Or purple, use the darkest purple to darken your purple. Green, there you go. However, pink, I don't have pink. Pink isn't like a very dark color. So like purple, you get a very dark purple, right? And I went looking on Prochem and Dharma, trying to find a dark pink, and there really isn't a dark pink. When I went to my LYS to look at this, the darkest one they had was like a raspberry color, and it was still way too dark. So I feel like the raspberry I would make is probably as dark as I'm going to get unless I add black to it. And I don't know what that would do to the color. Or if maybe I added gray and gray and gray, which is just light black. So anyway, no purple. No pink. I guess I'm going to have to come up with a way to darken pink. Because I do have a dark purple, I have a dark green, and I have a dark blue. But I don't have dark pink. And so I don't know how to make that moodier with just using, let's see, black is not really what you want to use there. Do you know of a dark pink color? Because I feel like this is pretty, this is like the darkest I'm going to get, this dark pink here. This is the darkest I've been able to find, this like raspberry color. But see, this also has purple in it, so did they use purple to get that color? Because there's a light pink in here too. There's like neon pink, and then like a dark raspberry pink, and then a bunch of speckles. So I don't know how I would get the dark pink that I want. I'm not sure. And I know, like, not everyone is into dark and moody like I am, but if I found these 4 and there's no pink, maybe pink can't be made. I don't know. I think I have to do more research, and I think I'm going to have to take some color theory classes. Learn some stuff. Do a deep dive. Whatever. I just feel like, is that really going to help me do anything? Probably not, because I'm still going to want to make everything black. The only time I get colorful is for the M cow because Stephen won't let me do any of it just in all black. I'm waiting for one time him to say, you just need one color. It's never going to happen. All right, anyway, I'm going to get out of here because my neighbors are out doing something. That's not even the next door neighbors. That's 2 neighbors over because they're building a barn. They've been building a barn all summer. They're very loud about it all of the time. Anyway. No. I mean, I don't really have to tell them to be quiet anymore because who cares? They are yelling. So, I guess you can bark at people yelling. I don't really care. Anyway, well, by next time, I should have at least one pair of arm warmers. Otherwise, fingerless mitts, whatever. Otherwise, something has gone horribly wrong. What do you think of my cow colors? Do you think they're okay? I'm desperately trying to not change my mind. Like, I'm trying to be like, yes, these are good. It's great. It's not going to matter. I just need yarn. It's not going to... I don't think I've worn any of mine yet, so... I don't wear shawls, so it doesn't really matter. Any of these, I'd be more than happy to, like, hang on my wall as a piece of art because I think they're so pretty, but it doesn't really matter. It's for contrasting colors. Loosely, lightly contrasted, whatever. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, so I'll see you next time, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye.